Good afternoon, folks. Phil Galler of ThrabenU here for another Legacy stream. Today we are going to be playing a Rielle deck for a special occasion. We are going to be playing sort of a Phil versus Subs stream. Um, so we're going to be playing against four of my subscribers today rather than taking the Rielle deck through a league. Felchmaster donated to see the Rielle deck in action, and given how hostile current Legacy is to kind of current fringe, sorry, let me rephrase that. Given how hostile Legacy is to fringe decks right now, I thought we would have a better experience playing this deck if I just played some random games versus the sub rather than took it through an actual league. So as far as this goes, Rielle is a card that has not seen basically any Legacy play, so I'm going to go ahead and read the full text here. Rielle the Everwise gets +1/+0 for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. Whenever you discard one or more cards for the first time each turn, draw that many cards. So let's take something like Burning Inquiry, right? So, draw 3 cards, discard 3 cards, then draw 3 cards again. And this creature gets powered up very, very quickly for the cards that are in your graveyard. So it's not necessarily a combo deck in that like you play Rielle and you win, but you can play Rielle, turn Rielle sideways once, maybe twice, and you probably win, kind of like depending on how some of your draw stuff goes. The deck does have a second win condition other than just Rielle. It also has Flameblade Adept, which is a 1/2 with Menace for 1 mana, and whenever you cycle or discard a card, it gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. So that's pretty powerful. So if we kind of like take a look at the discard here, a Burning Inquiry, for example, does its effect while also giving the Flameblade Adept +3 power. And that's pretty good. So you can go, Faithful Suiting, Burning Inquiry, Breakthrough, or something like that in a turn, and nearly get a kill with Flameblade Adept all on its own. Whenever, at are things that set up triggers. So this is indeed a triggered ability, not a replacement effect. Okay, so looking at the rest of the shell and things that we have to support this strategy, we have Dark Ritual as some amount of mana acceleration. The Dark Rituals are a little bit awkward in this deck because we don't actually need all that much black mana. Those are there mostly for Dark Deal, which is like very much a cute combo with Rielle. Like have Rielle, Dark Ritual, Dark Deal. You discard your hand for huge value and then draw like twice as many cards as you might otherwise. It's very strong. Oh no, I brewed a very bad matchup. Don't worry about it, Shoop. We're gonna have some fun today, and whatever happens, happens. So one of the side win conditions of this deck is Thud. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Thud deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. So, a Flameblade Adept or a Rielle, in all likelihood, if you're like quote unquote going off, is probably going to go and kill in one turn. Like attack plus thud or very large thud goes and gets there. And you get to draw through a pretty good portion of your deck between like Brainstorm, Ponder, Burning, Inquiry, Faithless Looting, Dark Deal, Breakthrough, Ox, that you probably get there a good portion of the time. Looking at the sideboard, a lot of the stuff that's there is for unfair matchups. So ley lines, usually Pyroblast, Flusterstorm, that sort of stuff is there for the unfair stuff or where you want to fight back on the stack. And then you have some things for fair matchups. Aria of Flame is another alternate win condition. Uh, that's Goblin Lackey. We're going to do some cooperative content sometime in the next week or so. Aria of Flame is another alternative win condition that can be very, very strong if your creatures aren't particularly good or you just need more threats. Then we have things like Shenanigans, Abrade, and Brazen Borrowers to answer cards like Chalice of Void. Okay, I think these are primarily the things that I have to say about the deck. We're looking to play against 4 different people today. Let me see. So it looks like Kinda is slated to go first and should be good to go. Kinda. Real Kinda, there we go. Challenge player. Unearth, Rielle. Yes. Oh, and as a side note, Nate Golia of the Eternal Durdles podcast was responsible for putting this exact deck list together. All right. And we're in. Um, I don't know how aggressively I'm supposed to mulligan towards a threat, but my feel is very aggressively because I only have 8. I think I'm going to mulligan the first hand that looks like this. Hand's worse. I'll keep this on 5. I don't think this is particularly good. I'm going to toss back maybe the Bolt and the Swamp. I think that's the plan, and we'll ponder for a threat to start things off. I think that's better than Faithless Looting, but it's close. Okay. I don't think I get to be too picky beyond this, given that like I've mulled to 5. For real soft to like a Chalice of the Void here, if that's something that were to happen. Hunting Grounds. Oh boy. As long as 7 or more cards are in your graveyard, Hunting Grounds has whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay, and there is 1 in play. We have ourselves a good old-fashioned brew-off. Do I have multiple volcanic islands? I do have multiple volcanic islands. So I can brainstorm, fetch away some of my bad cards, and then play Flameblade Adept and hope to go ham next turn. I want to have 3 lands, I think. Go back to Underground Sea. I don't know, maybe like I don't need the ox yet. Maybe I don't need the ox yet. Hold on, do I have 3 volcanic islands? No, I have 2 volcanic islands. So if I'm going to fetch, I need to put back volcanic island instead. Hey Felchmaster, welcome. Thank you for donating to help see some of these shenanigans on stream. As long as my opponent doesn't have like some self-mill here, I feel like I'm good. They also might not have a creature in their hand yet. Like, literally anything can happen. I don't know what's going on over there. Oh no. It's a Grizzlebrand. Opponent has 7 cards in graveyard. Well met, opponent. Well met. Huh. So, like, am I just attacking 19 times the Flameblade Adept? It feels like I'm attacking 19 times with a Flameblade Adept. I draw a Rielle, like, maybe we can play that? My opponent is currently decking before us, so I have that going for me. Our Leyline of the Voids are going to be pretty sweet. Shit, how do we beat that? Okay. So like that just... Oh no, Menace! Oh, but we're currently losing the race. And that creature means that the Grizzlebrand blocks now? Hmm. Okay. So I need to keep making land drops, have the Squee attack, and then try to kill my opponent through a Grizzlebrand because of Menace? I would have to discard a whole bunch of cards. Or, like, go off twice. I think I'm just gonna make another land drop and pass. The issue is, like, the Grizzlebrand draws more cards, right? And then the next time I cast a spell, like, another fatty maybe comes in. This game is officially interesting. I don't know what my opponent's backup plan is other than hunting grounds. I would kind of like to figure that out. Uh, okay. That casts a Grizzlebrand. Okay, our opponent gets a Grizzlebrand and an Iona. I am going to go ahead and concede here. We're going to call that good. Gross. Okay. All right. So we know what's going on. So leyline to stop the hunting grounds is probably good. Brazen Borrower to bounce a large creature is probably good. And then I'm not sure if I'm supposed to board more things. Making my opponent discard is awkward, but if I have a leyline, it's fine. Regal Cheap, thank you very much for the support. Very much appreciate it. Dark Ritual, oddly enough, helps cast Leyline of the Void, but I think the Dark Ritual is like not where I want to be. I think I go off of like Dark Ritual and Dark Deal and bring these things in. That's kind of what makes sense to me. Aria of Flame is interesting as well. Let's try this. Regal Cheap will be on the stream in round 4 of this. I think I keep this. I think I play my Threat on turn 1 rather than Thoughtseize on turn 1. Badlands? Yeah, like doing this lets me Faithless Looting and Thoughtseize on turn 2, which seems good. This intentional discard, or is that a skipped turn? It feels like a skipped turn. I think I just got a time walk. Ooh. We get to like do the Rielle thing. Get to unearth Rielle this turn. Thought seizing my opponent is almost certainly correct, for the record. But how can I not do this? Also, my opponent like time walked themselves, so feels fair to let them have a turn 1 again. I am probably supposed to Thoughtseize this turn. Play Flame Blade Adept, and then cycle Faithless Lootings in future turns. Yeah, you can keep Food Chains. I'll take the Punishing Fire that buys me some time with a Flame Blade Adept. Leyline's even better than I thought against my opponent now that I see these Punishing Fires. I would like to just draw. That's interesting. I think it's better to cast Faithless Looting than Brainstorm. This just like represents guaranteed damage that I can push while things are awkward. Hmm. Unearth? Oh, I have a Flame Blade Adept in there. So that's probably good to do. It puts one more card in graveyard. Yeah, I have another Volcanic Island. This is fine. Or no, I want black. Underground Sea. Unearth, a Flame Blade Adept. This puts one more instant or sorcery in the graveyard for Rielle. I don't think I can die to Food Chain now. If I would have discarded Brainstorm over Leyline of the Void, I had lethal. Oops. Obviously, I did not count that out ahead of time. I also like kind of wanted the Brainstorm until I knew what was going on with my Rielle draws, so I don't really regret that. Alright, that one wasn't very much of a game because our opponent accidentally time walked themselves on turn 1. Yeah, I think I call this good. I think I like how I boarded. And probably does nothing. Oh, also we have a Pyroblast I should have boarded out. I think I keep this on 6. Hopefully our opponent doesn't like turn 1 Hunting Grounds. That's kind of the fear. I want them to have a slower hand that I can pick apart via Thoughtseize. Looks like I might be getting my wish. Okay, so we'll take the hunting grounds because that thing getting into play is absolutely terrifying. But our opponent has multiple living wishes now, and I don't know how bad that is for me. Hopefully they like get something that I can thought seize, and then like I effectively thought seize both living wishes. Okay, they have a hunting grounds. Not for long. I have no thoughts remaining. I have taken all of them. I'm at 14, by the way. the uh the three thought seizes mean that like squee is like maybe actually a clock. Although maybe this Grove of the Burn Willows gives me a little bit of life over the course of this game. Kind of awkward they don't have the second green here. I need a threat. That's a threat. A threat that I can work with right now. So let's discard Rielle and the Faithless Looting. I probably discard the Leyline of the Void and Rielle. Then unearth Rielle. Oh no, Rielle is legendary. This was a bad plan. It's okay. Because like I play Rielle and then I like play a Faithless Looting in the same turn cycle. Shoot! Yeah, I had gone like opponent's lands don't do anything this turn cycle, and then I just didn't think about Caracas being untapped. Okay, I cost myself a card there. Back to 16. Digging myself out of the hole. Hmm. Punishing Fire sure isn't good for me. I just discarded a Leyline. We'll figure it out. Wonder if I should have boarded in Aria of Flame. Felt like no at the time. But it's certainly better than the Pyroblast that's in my deck, that's for sure. Yeah, I probably should have boarded in at least one Aria of Flame. Okay, they took Arid Mesa there and played it immediately. Tricky. Alright, Living Wish has been used. Maybe get a large fatty. That's a large fatty, alright. Which represents infinite turns via food chain. There's that Pyroblast. Right on time. I feel dead. It takes a couple of turns, but I don't have counterspells to interact with my opponent. So yeah. Elvish Piper. That's an Emrakul. That's an Emrakul. Or is it? We can Burning Inquiry away the Elvish Piper. Oh god, okay. Alright, here we go. This is the hard counter to what my opponent has going on. Oh, we got it. This is beautiful. So that's definitely one of the more fringe uses of Burning Inquiry. That's for sure. Oh no. Don't do it. Okay. That's also probably scary. It's a Grizzlebrand. It's fine. Totally fine. Nothing to worry about. Also, I wonder if my opponent can go like A7, play land, draw food chain, Grizzlebrand, and do some stupid stuff that kills me this turn. I'm looking to kill my opponent with Thud. Rielle Thud represents a lethal line. Hmm. That's fine. I think I need to brainstorm now to smooth out this next turn. I need, like, land Rielle Thud. None of those cards are Thud. I have a Rielle in graveyard that Unearth represents good things on. Do I just play Leyline this next turn? No, I probably Brainstorm. I probably Brainstorm. Like, the Grizzlebrand is beating me on its own. Like, Hunting Grounds is whatever. Rough. Yeah, I think I'm just cycling Unearth looking for Thud. Or a way to find Thud. As, like, kind of silly as that sounds. I could just unearth a Flameblade Adept, but I don't feel like I'm getting there that way. No Thud. Okay. Do I have Thud from 17? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do not have Thud from 17. So I'd like my opponent to draw again to give me a Thud out. Red Hot, thank you very much for the continued support. Very much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying this very ridiculous Legacy game. Draw 7. Draw 7, kinda. You know you want to. It's a Grizzlebrand. You can't ignore that power. Got a Moat? Okay, Moat does not stop Thud. Okay, flashback, Faithless Looting into Unearth Thud. I still have lines. Not worrying about the hunting grounds until they like put in Iona. GG's. Well, that match was really fun. That's that's what I'll say. All right. Next up, we're playing against Nathan Lipetz. Also, how is there not a search list for buddies? Nathan is not showing online. Nathan, are you in chat? Nathan is not in chat. Let's skip to Shoop then. Yeah, kinda. So I was fishing for Thud for those last couple of turns because that's how I was going to beat, like, the Grizzlebrand. I had you for a while if I found Thud, but it's a one of. Um, yeah. Like once you had the punishing fire at the beginning of the game, the Flameblade adepts became bad, and like I totally forgot you had Caracas when I played Rielle off of Unearth the first time. So like I definitely made errors. Uh, but like I was surprised that I had outs to a Grizzlebrand entering play, other than just like ripping Brazen Borrower to bounce it. So like that was cool. All right. See if Goop is good to go then. Luck Shoop. My current hand doesn't really do anything. I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan it. Yeah, kinda like love the deck. Very silly and fun. Yeah, this hand is probably a keep. I think I bin one land, assuming that a Faithless Looting finds me another land at some point this same game. Current plan is turn 1 Flameblade Adept, turn 2 Faithless Looting into Thoughtseize off of Underground Sea. Tiny Bones, Trinket Thief. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent discarded a card this turn, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Okay, that seems good against what I'm doing, but that's all right. We'll figure it out. The hardest counter. Playblade Adept has Menace. We're fine. Ooh, I get to unearth a Rielle this turn instead. Let's assume that's really good. And if they're gonna draw a bunch of cards off my stuff, maybe Thoughtseizing them isn't the best. Tiny Bones is real weird. At least it doesn't block my Rielle profitably. That's important. Because I'm gonna Faithless Looting next turn. This is good old fashioned Legacy. Like people showing up with some crazy decks, having fun with some interesting cards. It's gonna be real refreshing to like not play against like Oko and Dreadheart Arcanist for a day. I think the Liliana staying alive is not that big of a deal. Like, I can kill it with Flameblade Adept, but it plussing to make me discard a card isn't all that spooky. I'm gonna sacrifice this. Get to play another one for 1 mana. This one from hand? Play this one from hand. Breakthrough is real cool next turn. I'm gonna discard this. This? It's awkward that I don't have my red untapped because of Liliana. I discard this. Nice. Nice. Okay. So let's see if we get to kill this Liliana. We do get to kill the Liliana. Cool. Lily Last Hope isn't that scary, but if I take any of the other things, it's a little annoying. Crystalline Giant's going to be very good. Maybe better than Rotting Regisaur. Don't worry, Reaple Sheep, I'll figure it out. So, like, taking a creature is awkward. Because the Planeswalker can get it back. I think I'm supposed to take the Rotting Regisaur, though, and, like, make them get it back if that's something they want to do. Would be a totally okay time to, like, Burning Inquiry and purge my opponent's hand. Opponent draw, like, Toxic Deluge. One of the few ways that this makes sense to me. I'm gonna go ahead and block. Alright, so I have a breakthrough. What do I want to cast it for? X equals 1, keep 1 card. Or sorry, like, the better way to phrase that is how much mana do I want to leave available to myself? I want to leave 1 available. Alright, so I get Unearthed Shenanigans. I'm gonna go ahead and attack in. Is unearthing Rielle better than having another Flameblade adept in play with Menace? Probably, because like Rielle nets me cards off the Faithless Lootings that are in my graveyard. Rielle is also like spooky levels of big. I also wonder if I can kill my opponent via their own tiny bones if they manage to stabilize. All right, what are you rolling? First strike is terrifying. Reach is fine. This Faithless Looting? I think it's this Faithless Looting. Maybe it's not. Like, turning this Faithless Looting into another better card is maybe more optimal. There are lightning bolts in this deck that I've like never seen. I'm leaving open this. I don't know, like having access to more mana when doing this might be better. I changed my mind. Alright, we discard those. Flame Blade Adept gets bigger, Rielle is bigger. I'm gonna brainstorm and look for a lightning bolt. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Two? I think I have another Valk to get. I'm fine with casting Burning Inquiry just to increase the power of my Flameblade Adept and take this Liliana out of my opponent's hand. Hopefully I didn't draw them into a removal spell. That was a quick jump block, understandably so. We're doing okay. Alright. Nice. Next game. Okay, we're playing against a mono black discard planeswalker creature deck of some nature. I feel like a non-creature win condition is probably good. I feel like Brazen Borrowers for planeswalkers and such is good. Toxic Deluge for large creatures is fine. Fatal Push for bobs that are maybe in there is maybe okay. Flusters are maybe okay, but borderline. We're gonna board out that Pyroblast. That's gonna be the starting point. Then kind of seems like Dark Deal and Dark Rituals are maybe the thing that I cut again. And then maybe go down like one Thoughtseize or something like that. If I want to keep Fluster. I think I do. Protecting a Flameblade Adept is maybe good. This hand's like perfect if I have red mana. I might need to go back with how it is right now. Seeing as it doesn't really do anything. Speaking of not doing anything, it's acceptable on 6. It sure isn't good, but it might be acceptable on 6. We're gonna pitch the Fluster there because I think I'm going to need to use my mana to like dig via like Brainstorm, Faithful Suiting, Ponder, those sorts of things. Shoot, take the Rielle. Nothing bad will happen. I swear. For what it's worth, not knowing my opponent's hand, it feels like Brainstorm is kind of the obvious take here. Anything that provides selection to smooth out this very bad hand is valuable. Interesting. I only get 2 of my 3 colors here. I think Thoughtseize and Brainstorm are the most important things here. Well, Thoughtseize. We're gonna take the chains. We're gonna take the chains. Yikes. I have Brazen Borrower for Rotting Regisaur. So that's not actually all that scary. Scary is brainstorming and not hitting a fetch land or a red source here. That's scary. You gotta call the shots. It's the law. I Thoughtseize my opponent and let them discard their last card, and then Brazen Borrower and let them discard the Regisaur itself. I think so. Nice. Okay, so they have a Swamp remaining. I'm hoping they just like play something that doesn't deal with my Brazen Borrower this turn. Nice. Feel so smart with my Brazen Borrower. This is rude. That was satisfying. No! So if this gets the +1/+1 counter and Lightning Bolt doesn't kill it anymore, that's super awkward for me. So I think I am just going to Lightning Bolt this. Oh no, it's not super awkward. I have a Fatal Push that I just have to like have a permanent leave play. I take it back. Game to Turok, take Bolt and Fatal Push. Fuck. Well, getting hexproof would have been bad. Good thing that didn't happen. Discard Ox. Push. Brainstorming. Feels like I want this land in play. I think I'm brainstorming. I just don't care about brainstorm locking myself because I have like fatal push and stuff. Actually, it's probably correct to do one less point of damage and then be able to make the storm count higher next turn for Flusterstorm. Yeah, that feels correct to me. Yeah, that feels correct. Yes, top decking your outs is very recommended. I know the top couple of cards in my library are bad. I don't think my opponent has a removal spell. I'm gonna brainstorm here. See if I'm punished by like an eliminate or something. Not. Ox? Burning Inquiry first, probably. Yeah, Burning Inquiry first. Now I look for a bolt to have lethal. Now let's just shuffle this. None of those cards are bolt. Ponder is fine, but it looks at two bad cards. I should probably put this Ox in play just to have another creature. Yeah, I'm going to put the Ox in play just to have another creature, but I'm going to force the chump block on Bob first. This isn't an each player, right? This is just me. I don't have anything to unearth. Whatever, I have a huge safety net. Castle Lockwain seems a touch late. The Dark Ritual, I respect it. Dark Ritual into Castle Locthwain, not technically dead yet. Alright. We have taken this match. Alright. Nathan here yet? Nathan is not here. Nathan also has not responded on Discord. Something must have come up. That's okay. We'll go ahead and go on to Reaple Cheap then. Yeah, Shoop, I was really interested with what was going on when you slammed the tiny bones on turn 2. I'm keeping the hell out of this hand and casting a turn 1 Burning Inquiry, and whatever happens, happens. Oh, no worries, Reaple Cheap. We're playing your match much earlier than expected. Yeah, I think Tiny Bones is, like, very good against what I'm doing. YOLO? Oh, right, I need to type YOLO in the chat for this. Okay. Well, I've discarded 3 of my opponent's mana sources. Yeah, Rielle is the first time. Ooh, I can Dark Deal if I want. Is Dark Ritual Dark Deal better than Thoughtseize? Probably not. Oh god. Oh shit, opponent's hand is so good. If they get a black source, otherwise their hand does nothing after I take this card. Okay, cool. Oh, they have the Cruel Reality in hand already. Maybe the Curse of Misfortunes isn't as good as it looks. I have double eliminate to deal with. This turn's awkward. Never mind. Fine. This is really fun. Earn mana? Helm. Hmm. I have no flashback spell in my graveyard. I might die to Helm activate after nugging my opponent for 7. Like Leyline Helm activate. Don't do it, Reapal Cheap. Don't do it. Okay, so opponent can Helm me to find a blocker. Or they can have a removal spell. It is Helm me to find a blocker. Oh, they found one! That was a very ridiculous game. Oh, they needed one mana source for a kill. They had a Leyline in hand. So if they had a mana source last turn, they got me. Okay, so the game on the draw is going to be a lot harder because of Chalice of the Void. So we need answers and effective answers to that. I think that stuff looks kind of like this. The first thing we're going to do is board out the Pyro Blast before I forget about it. I don't think Dark Deal is normally going to be as good as it was in that exact game where we took them off like a billion relevant spells. I think we're going to cut down on Dark Rituals and Dark Deals. And keep one random Dark Ritual. I guess one random Dark Ritual doesn't feel great. Maybe a Flusterstorm is better. My opponent did show me Eliminates that I can protect from. Like Chalice on Wand counters 29-ish of my spells. Yeah, it's pretty good. This hand answers a Chalice, so I'm going to keep it. If my opponent doesn't have Chalice, I have Thoughtseize. Free Ball is good. Braid answers that. This is a Karn, though. Okay. I mean, this seems fine. We have a lot of Flame Blade adepts. Jackal Warrior, or I don't know what Rielle is. Human something, probably. Human Wizard. And Human was chosen. One has one card left. Do I want to Thoughtseize it? I think so. I'm not under a real clock. All right. You get that one, Reapel Cheap. Awkwardly, that means that like Castle Locthwain is on now. I think it's correct to put the Flame Blade Adept into play. It maybe holds the Plague Engineer back, and then like I destroy the Trinisphere and do something else as well if I draw a land. Oop, I died. That's okay. I knew the game where I was on the draw was going to be very hard. Thoughtseize into Aria of Flame later. Fine. Have a frowny face in there. Ah, so opponent has no black mana. So I can take this Chrome Mox and completely take them off of black mana. Oh, this is actually very interesting. So I can just like take the Chalice of the Void, but then they go Chrome Mox, a Dark Ritual, Curse of Misfortunes on turn one, which is probably bad for me. Yeah, I think I let them Chalice and then kill them with Aria of Flame. So if they play the Chalice, it also shuts off their Dark Rituals. So like that's a very good trade for me. And another Aria of Flame as well. Oh no, they found mana. Okay, I also found mana. Let's go. Doesn't matter if you counter my spells, they're still damage. Mm. Do I Rielle? I probably Rielle and make my opponent deal with it. They have the overwhelming splendor in hand, which is good for me. I didn't know that one was going to be in. Triple Cheap has top decked very well this game. Holy crap. I can actually resolve a breakthrough. So I think what I'm going to do is cycle and unearth. Cycle and unearth leading up red. No, it doesn't matter what I leave up. As long as it's blue. Yeah. This looks good. Don't have an unearthed target. Oak Karn? Oak Karn. Now my opponent probably uses the Tormod's Crypt. Yep. Maybe I should have just like cast multiple spells with Aria Flame and use that to kill Karn. I think I'm dead. Casting Breakthrough now kills me. Resolving Breakthrough now kills me more accurately. I need to hold priority, right? I put this on the stack, target you. I then lost priority by the fact that I was holding priority, so I can't Flusterstorm. That's a little annoying. It is what it is, but I lose this game by 1 point of damage. I'm not going to lose this game by 1 point of damage because of Cruel Reality, though. Cruel Reality is going to make me sacrifice Rielle. Yikes. Okay, I think I'm dead. Alright, Trinosphere now as well. GG's. Okay, it appears that Nathan has vanished into the ether. Don't know what happened to him. And best friend Tabitha had to cancel at the last minute, but sent me a message about it. So, is there anyone else chilling in chat who wants to play a game against the Rielle deck? I am now playing 2 fewer matches than I had scheduled for today. Yeah, that was really fun. My only regret that I did not thud. Monster trained then? Yeah. I suppose we could do that. Um, so we only played a couple of rounds with this deck, fewer than I was initially intending on doing. Rielle is really interesting. I think certain portions of this deck are not good. So I think like the Dark Deal and Dark Ritual side of the deck is not good. And these should be like 2 more Ponders, 2 more Thuds, and then 2 more Threats. I was talking with Nathan in the Leaving a Legacy group. Let me see if I can find this post. There's a lot of shit posting and memes in there, so it might have gotten buried already. But there was a creature that we wanted to try out in this, and I don't know its name because it's not a creature that sees play anywhere. Oh my god, there's so many Pox memes in this group. Also, how many posts are in this group? There's a 1 mana black creature that if it enters from the graveyard, you do something very strong. I don't know, like make a 5/5 demon or something of that ilk that we were talking about the other day. Um, but everything is just like completely buried in this group. There's like so many posts in here on any given day. Archfiend's Vessel. Here we go. I found it. So it's a 1/1 with lifelink. If it enters the battlefield, if it entered from graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, exile it. If you do, create a 5/5 black demon creature with flying. This was something else that I think could totally slot into the deck in some of these like Dark Ritual, Dark Deal slots that seemed a little bit awkward otherwise. Um, this was a really fun set of matches, but I don't think this deck is probably competitive enough to really be taken into leagues and do okay right now. Like, we're definitely a little bit janky, and I feel like we need a few more threats. Yeah, I think Hollow One is another thing that could totally be in this deck. But it feels like these 6 cards in the main deck Pyroblast are the weakest things in the deck. So something like 2 Thud, 2 Ponder, three more threats. Do like three hollow ones or something like that. Something of that ilk seems fine. Anyway, I hope this was enjoyable. Let's switch over to a little bit of Monster Train now.